Hi everyone, welcome to Pakistani Immigrant Family in Canada YouTube channel. Today we will briefly touch upon a few of the reasons that people say Canada is no more a country to come to, or I will discuss with you certain reasons that some people tend to leave Canada because of. So here's a very interesting comment on a YouTube video that says, I'm 35, I can't find a husband, I can't buy a condo, I can't walk around at night, I can't get a family doctor, and 30% of my income goes to taxes. Every day I ask myself, why am I here? So if we just take a look at this comment, there are a couple of reasons that this lady does not feel to come to terms with life in Canada. First of all, she says that she's not been able to find a husband for herself and she's 35. Well, 35 really is around the time I think that people should have found a spouse for themselves, because the biological cycle is ticking, whether or not you're financially or mentally capable of or ready to accept somebody into your life. But since the biological clock is ticking, even more so for ladies than gents. So yes, that's a concern, but I doubt if Canada had a role to play in it, because there are plenty of men in Canada, and the traditional routes of finding spouses are pretty much the same for women in Canada that prevail for women all across the world. So I think that's kind of a personal thing if she's not been able to find a good husband for not good husband, any husband for herself. But yes, since she couldn't buy a condo, and if she's 35 and she's been living in Canada, like she's born and brought up here, and she's not able to find a condo at the age of 35, that's a matter of concern. I think property prices really need to be made affordable for people in Canada, and a lot of that has to do with how many immigrants are being let into Canada every year, and what's the job market like, and accordingly, what the property laws are, how much properties a certain individual is able to buy or is allowed to buy, and like what's the minimum down payment that needs to be put into, and like what's the buy and sell ratio. But yes, property prices really need to be controlled, and I believe they need to be made affordable. At least every Canadian or every permanent resident should be able to buy one condo. That's the least we can ask for, and that's, I think, a fundamental necessity. Everybody needs a shelter on their head, and having a condo is the least one can ask for. So I can totally relate to her comment when she says I can't buy a condo. That's a very, very genuine concern. The other thing that she's talking about is I can't walk around at night. Well, I think people still walk around at night in Canada. In fact, Canada has a dead nightlife, because I've been to the UAE as well, and the nightlife in the UAE is fantastic. It's so colorful, and the city never sleeps, kind of thing. You'd find restaurants open late in the night, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Likewise, the casinos and so many other kinds of places. Obviously, not the malls, but like places to dine out, you'd find pretty much late in the night as well. But in Canada, the city goes asleep. If not asleep, like it goes dark, and like the malls and shops tend to shut down the max by 9 or 10 a.m. and as early as 8 a.m. and sometimes around 6 a.m. Sorry, I'm talking a.m., whereas it's actually p.m. So most of the shops tend to close around 8 p.m., and a few of them hold themselves up to like 10 p.m. at max. And there are also a few shops that just close at 6 p.m. So it ranges from 6 to 10 p.m. that shops tend to close down. So the city tends to get dark and, quiet. And especially during the winters, it's very cold outside, dark and deserted kind of place. So Yes, you'd not find a lot of people outside anyway because it's not feasible in this kind of weather. But to say there's safety concern, I think not so much so. I think it pretty much depends upon what area you are living in, because some cities are better with respect to safety and security of individuals as compared to others. I think cities like Mississauga, Toronto might have more safety and security concerns, even rash driving as well, compared to other cities. Also, I would say cities like Regina, or some cities in like Edmonton and Calgary might not be as safe to walk around at night as compared to certain cities in Ontario or the GTA area. But yeah, I think the safety and security concerns have been raising pretty much lately. Yes, so that's a kind of concern. I think a lady walking all alone in the night, it's generally safe, but can encounter uncomfortable events as well. I can't find a family doctor. That's a very genuine concern and a very common one as well. And 30% of my income goes to taxes. That's also very true. Every day she asks herself why she's here. So I think, yes, the medical is a very big problem in Canada. Many people have to wait for months and sometimes years for very genuine and very basic medical concerns, medical necessities. Something as basic as a minor surgery that it might take doctors only around 20 or 30 minutes to perform. The patients have to wait to get those surgeries for sometimes a year and a half to 2 years. So that's a very, very genuine concern. Eventually, the kind of treatment one gets is top notch, is very satisfying, but the kind of wait one has to do to get those procedures done, to get that medical attention, is simply devastating, and that's not something that we should be expecting from a first world country. I think Canada really needs to gear itself up when it comes to medical attention and medical facilities. And even though healthcare is affordable in a way or to some extent, I'm talking basic medical care, not like a cosmetic surgery or some things that you would opt to go for. They are totally paid by the clients. But yes, basic medical necessities and operations are affordable because of taxes that we pay. But the kind of wait and time it takes for people to get that attention, it's so much that it offsets any gains that an individual eventually gets. So this really needs to improve. So I guess she started with personal reason that had nothing to do with Canada, and gradually walked her way into concerns that are common to Canadians all across the board, like not being able to afford properties, and growing safety concerns, as well as lack of medical facilities. Not lack of medical facilities, but like the dearth of doctors. We see quite commonly in a lot of cities, it's being reported lately that there are very few doctors and there are a lot of patients, so the wait time is very, very, very long. So I don't know how much of that is true, whether there is actually a dearth of doctors or the system has been designed or structured in a way that all these wait times are put into place despite all those doctors being there for whatever reason. I don't know. I think money has to play a very important role in it, because at the end of the day, it all just boils down to that. So yes, these are some of the main concerns. In the following videos that I'll be making subsequently, I'll touch upon some more concerns that people have, because of which they are thinking about leaving Canada. I'll also speak with respect to Muslims in Canada, me being a Muslim myself, like what things I think are such that people tend to move away from Canada so we'll be discussing them in the following videos or the follow-up videos. So please subscribe to my channel and leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think why people leave Canada? I would love to see your comments and would respond to them accordingly. See you in the next video. Until next time, take care and have a nice day. Bye.